Hello, Commenter29 here. This is not any kind of special video. I just thought I'd do something of an impromptu video. My last topic video that I did was on Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault, and in that video I did mention that I had ideas for a post-Assault sequel. I didn't really elaborate on it much beyond that, but I did get an anon in response to the video saying that they were interested in hearing some of my ideas and wanted to know more about what my ideas were for a sequel to a new Star Fox game. So I sat on this for a couple days thinking like, oh, okay, I'll make a video, and then a couple days passed and I'm sitting here like, still haven't made a video. So yeah, that's what this is. This is me just kind of putting out some thoughts for a sequel. So one of the things I liked about Adventures is that I did state this before, and is that it has more cutscenes, and you get more little characterizations with Fox and stuff, especially when he reacts to people. One of the things I really liked about Assault is that you actually got to go to different planets and go on foot to different planets like Saria, or I believe it was it Corneria? Let me check. Let me check the list of planets. Star Fox. Let me check the list of planets. I think it was Corneria. I'm trying to remember if it was Corneria. Well, I did like I did like going to these different planets. Yeah. Recapture the Cornerian capital. I liked going on foot there and not just being, flying through places. Because, you've gone through Corneria before. But, I liked being able to walk around and, sure, it wasn't really much you could do besides shoot at stuff, but I liked that. Let's see a little bit more of this world. And I think I don't remember if I said this before in my video. I probably did, but if I didn't, I believe that there's such a big world of Star Fox and it only focuses on little bits, and we only get a handful of planets in the whole system, the whole universe, and it's like, I want to do more, and I want to do more in places. Now, some people might freak when I say this, but I kind of want to I would kind of make the Star Fox game a little bit closer to Mass Effect. Now, not completely, but hear me out in this. I like how in Mass Effect you can walk around the Normandy, you can talk to people, in some of you can check loadouts and stuff, but I like the idea of being able, because when you really think about it, there is similarities between their style of games. You have a squad of Space Marines, essentially. To use the trope, I don't know. I don't think Fox ever fully graduated from the academy. I think he left when his dad died to take over the mantle for Star Fox. Yeah, you see, and there is lore to this. There's backstory, and we never really delve into that in any of the games, and I kind of want to know more about this. I think there's so much more you could really work with. Because if I remember correctly, I believe Slippy was also a student at the academy with Fox, and Fox convinced him to leave to go help him with Star Fox. It's like, some of this stuff is like, you would never know. You would never know. Maybe you can read stuff in the manuals. I know there's some stuff in the manuals. It's like, I'm the kind of person who likes games with more story to them. Not that I don't enjoy the hell out of the Star Fox games, but there's a reason why I like Assault. Assault actually has a decent story. It has some decent moments, too. And like I mentioned, like I mentioned in my video, a moment with wolf helping Fox, and Fox jumps on the wolf and he's like shooting from it, which is a fun gameplay section too. Then them having that moment at the end, it's like, oh, I can only imagine what better graphics would have done to that scene. It would have been a lot better. Or that moment where you think General Pepper's going to die, and you're thinking, no, General Pepper, not him. And it turns out he ends up being okay, because Peppy saves the day, and it's like, yeah. And you think everyone's dead, and then it's like, it's a wild ride, and I don't know why Assault gets hated so much. Anyway, one of the things I liked is the on-foot section, so, being able to move around more. It's like, also, I would also compare it to Splinter Cell Blacklist. I think Splinter Cell Blacklist might be a more apt comparison for what I have in mind, even though I did take ideas from from Mass Effect. I did like the idea of what Splinter Cell Blacklist did, because in Splinter Cell Blacklist, your headquarters is on this plane, and you have a little lab area, and you have a couple sections you can walk through. It's a fairly small area, but you can talk to different people. You can accept different missions from some of your team, which is a really nice mechanic. They each give you missions more related to them as a character, but and I do like the idea of that. I like the idea of you being able to, as Fox, go up and just go to people and press A to interact with them or something. Just something. Have them have dialogue post missions or side missions. And I do want to add that. I do want side quests. I mean, Fox is a mercenary. I mean, I would love to, if, honestly, taking a little bit from Mass Effect, having, how Admiral Hackett will call in and basically be like, Commander Shepard, we're going to need you to help us on this thing because something bad is happening. We need you to shoot things. And you can accept the mission. I mean, I like that idea. I mean, hell, that's actually pretty much how the plot of Star Fox Adventures starts, for Fox, anyway. Because General Pepper calls in and he's just like, Fox, go to this planet. Okay. I kind of want to expand on that and have it be like, you can take jobs from other people. You can, maybe some hub worlds. That would actually be cool. Some hub worlds you could go to. You can go to Corneria and, go to whatever planet and you can check stuff out. You can do some stuff there. I mean, now might dip into more RPG territory here, but I'm always someone who likes to put in who has this idea of lots of content that's so much fun. Also a little bit of, The Last Story, if anyone actually played that. It's a good game. Love that game. How you had the town of, forgot the town's name, but you have the city that you're in. You can go all over the city. Now it wouldn't be I don't think any hub world for this would be that big, but just the idea of it, of you get to go to some place, like go to the Coliseum, and you can go to places and do stuff. I don't know, have some VR arcade or something, or you can do Metal Gear Solid VR missions. That would have been cool. I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe have some sort of holodeck style thing on the Great Fox, where you get to, reenact missions and put on different parameters or create training simulations, stuff like that. I also like the idea of being able to go into a hangar bay of the Great Fox and being able to check out all the R-Wings throughout the history, which is more of a gameplay thing than actual story. But just being able to go in there and see, hey, these are all the R-Wings we've had over the history, of sort of an HD rendering of the 64 one. Then you have the Adventures one, the Assault one, and then maybe other ones from the series. I like the idea of being able in missions to have different R-Wings and being able to choose different R-Wings as part of your mission prep, in sort of a way of Ace Combat. Which, when you think about it, why not take a little inspiration from Ace Combat? A big chunk of the game is flying. So I mean, I personally had a little fun. I mean, maybe not make it exactly like it, since some missions of Ace Combat can get a little dreary and boring. Personally, that's my experience from playing. I have more fun watching people play Ace Combat than anything. But just like the idea of you can get all these different planes with different, abilities and different stats, different weapons, and do that with R-Wings. And I think Command, for all of its faults, I think it did that. I never played the game, but I think it also did that. You had several different types of R-Wings, though I think some of them got a little goofy. I do like the ability of having different R-Wings, to choose different R-Wings that may be a little slower, but or have a lot more, or more sort of damage resistant, or damage resistant to a certain thing. Maybe one has a giant freaking cannon on it, but it's more fragile, being a sort of a lightning bruiser. Stuff like that. I also like the idea of, look, I also said, this is actually pretty big in my idea. I like the idea of going on foot. Those are some of my favorite sections of Assault, and it's a nice break of pace from the, it works to break up, all of the flying, doing nothing but flying or riding a Landmaster. I like the idea of sometimes, okay, we have something down there, we're going to land, we're going to get on foot, we're going to go shoot those things. I like that. And the cat just invaded the room. But I like the idea of being able to go on foot. But we need to take it further than what Assault did. I know that coming up with this and saying, hey, I'd like to have proper third-person shooting mechanics in a Star Fox game, and some people might go, really? Hear me out. I don't want it to turn into a Call of Duty style shooter. I don't want it to be Gears of War or something. I actually would want it. I mean, because you have to remember the genre that Star Fox is. It's an arcade style game. You shoot enemies, you win the points. So you have to keep in mind that. Now, you can still do that, but one of the things, again, I'm pulling a little bit from Splinter Cell Blacklist, is coming from different play styles. Because Splinter Cell Blacklist has 3 different play styles it rewards you for. There's Ghost, which is basically you snuck through without anyone seeing you, which is going to get you maximum points. Panther, which is basically you kill people, but they don't see you. Then there's Assault, which is just like kind of just killing people, like straight up gunfights. Which I don't recommend in Splinter Cell Blacklist. I don't. But like that idea of having different play styles and rewarding you for that. That kind of a system for this game. Now, I like the idea that you can just carry a bunch of weapons. I've always liked that idea in games, and I don't particularly like having like a game just be like, all right, we're gonna limit you to like 2 weapons. It's okay with some games, but I wouldn't do that for Star Fox. That would be ridiculous. Their weapon wheels exist for a reason. And I myself am a big fan of the weapon wheel style of organization. I think when you have a bunch of items, I think it's probably or a bunch of weapons and stuff, I think it's one of the best ways you can do it. Press or hold a button or something, and then I know I believe it was Day 6 Human Revolution on my Wii U. I think it's you hold B, and it'll bring up the weapon or the display, and you can just like move over to thing, or you can press the button on the thing on the gamepad, but something like that. And hell, you can actually use the gamepad for this too, because it's a Nintendo game. So I had the idea, and this is a little bit inspired. I wanted to mix the action of Assault and Adventure. And that's a lot of what this does. A lot of the gameplay ends up being something of a mix between the 2 games, in a happy medium. It would basically have guns. You have you could choose 5 different guns you can use, and I would actually move up. How you have the blaster, the main blaster that looks like a Halo assault rifle. Have that moved. Have different replace the base gun with the pistol one, the one that you always see Fox using in Smash Brothers. No, and I'll get back to the design. I have to get back to the designs. Can't forget that. But you would have fight. Now I also like the idea that Assault gives you a bunch of different weapons, and some of them may seem a little more typical of other games. Like you have an Assault, you have a machine gun. you have, you know, a rocket launcher, you have, I don't know if they had any shotgun equivalent. Probably did, but I don't remember. I haven't looked up the list. I could look it up, but I don't particularly feel like it. And whatever, I'll look it up while I'm talking. So, have all different kinds of weapons, each giving different things, abilities and stuff. Also, you can, like, say you can equip 5 different guns, and you can rotate through those, or you can switch them. Like, I like how you can collect all these. Oh, here's the kitty. I liked how you can have different guns, and I do like the idea of just being able to carry a bunch of guns with you. Because who cares if it's realistic? I'm playing as a fox, shooting blasters and flying in spacecraft, shooting at pigs and wolves in space. Like, we lost realism a long time ago. But, in addition to this, you would also carry a melee weapon. Now, this is an idea I got from adventures of, you know, how you can fight with the staff. Just being able to have a melee system. And I would work at, like, something close to Devil's Third. How you have a gun and you have a weapon you can use. Almost like switching back seamlessly. I like the idea of that. Because really, when you think about it, Fox, and I'm sure the other members of the team, say probably like Slippy, Fox has displayed close quarters combat skill, especially when he first picks up the staff in adventures. What does he first do? He starts like wow, doing all those moves and stuff, and it's like, okay, so these people are proficient in this, and the Smash Brothers series, I actually really like, because, you know, you get to see Fox and Falco and even Wolf, and, you know, you get to see them in close quarters, and I like the idea of being able to do that. But I want to expand this idea so that you can pick a melee weapon and have a bunch of different kinds of melee weapons that give different kinds of abilities and different move sets to basically give, you know, so that you can try these different weapons and see what works for you, and have some character special ones. Like, of course, you know, including Krystal's staff, it would have to be special to only Fox and Krystal. I mean, I like the idea of if you're scrolling through the weapons and you get to that and you try to pick it for any other character and they're just like, Krystal won't let me use it. Because I really don't think she would. And I like the idea of being able to shoot, and then you go over there and you start, like, beating them up in close quarters. Because think about that. I mean, wouldn't that... And also having, like, a shield. Being able to shield, and each of them having different things that can shield. Like, because if you... In hell, if you equip if you would equip the staff as the main weapon, you can pretty much use it for everything. It would be your melee weapon, and it would be your shields. But, you know, stuff like that. You know, you can have, like, the typical deflector and have it, like... You can have, like, I would love the thing like Falco does in Brawl and Onward, where he kicks out the deflector. And, you know, just stuff like that. You know, it's doing a lot of things to differentiate the characters. They each give them different abilities. And they actually kind of did that in Assault. There are a number of playable characters, and you get to play as the members of Star Fox, and each of them have different stats. Let's take this further. And hell, let's play as members of all the members of Star Wolf. You know, let's do that. And of course, a more robust multiplayer. Online multiplayer, please. But in different maps, maybe based off of campaign maps, you know, stuff like that. Like, and yeah, we start getting into the territory of typical shooters. But you know what? What's the problem with taking shooters? Nintendo proved that they can take inspiration from shooters and still do their own thing with Splatoon. But Star Fox has always been so actiony and so, like, space combat-y. I think it would do a little good to have a little, you know, a little third-person shooter action in it. Just, you know, because I like the on-foot sections, but playing them now, like, 10 years later, you can realize they're a little clunky, but they actually do. So I will give them credit. They actually do include a play. What's the word? A gameplay style that you can choose from that acts more like a typical third-person shooter, and you aim with the C stick. And I'm like, oh, you guys were thinking ahead there. It's not the default, but it is available. It's a little weird since the C stick is definitely more for camera movement than anything, but it's a nice thing. And and there's so many ideas you can say if they actually went through it, and you know what, maybe even had cover. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. The ability to crouch, the ability to sneak. I'm definitely someone who is really big on multiple play styles, so I'm always up to adding more gameplay elements to it. And I also talked about but before I get to that, so yeah, I mean, I think that kind of gets into the what I had an idea for on foot segments. I just want to be able to play it in a much more expanded way. And of course, I said it was like Devil's Third, but it would be nowhere near as violent. I mean, this is Star Fox we're talking about. This is still Nintendo, so we can't have it too violent. It just has to be cartoony violence. Come on. That's what you would expect. Now, I also talked about the style. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the super sleek, futuristic stuff from Assault. It looks cool, but I don't quite think it fits Star Fox. I'm not the biggest fan of the the Adventures looks. I am, though, a really big fan of their looks in the Smash Brothers series. And I do like that. I do like the, it may be a blend of the different styles. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I like the fact that they're wearing these like old style jackets and boots and stuff, and they look not quite militaristic, but they look like a band of mercenaries. Paid mercenaries, but mercenaries nonetheless. And I like that idea of look. And honestly, like, if I ever got a chance to redesign Krystal, I would definitely give her a jacket, just because, I don't know. The catsuit it's not a bad idea, it's just, it needs more to it. Assault needed more details and more stuff on it, and that's what I think the designs in Smash Brothers got right. And especially, I'll have to look at the Fox and Falco's designs in the Smash 4, but I mean, I do like those designs, and I think it'd be cool. Now, I also think it'd be cool if you could equip different outfits of the different games, and of course give it different stat bonuses. But I like the idea of doing that. I mean, but as the default, I think it would be something closer to Smash Brothers. Is how I mean, maybe it's because I just played a lot of Smash Brothers. I have been playing a lot of Smash Brothers for, since the first game came out. It's a long time ago. Sheesh. But yeah, I mean, I maybe that's just what I'm used to, but I like that. I like that design more, and I think it fits their characters more. Now, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of like the super hyper sleek Great Fox. I think it needs to look a little rugged and a little old, just because, I don't know. That's just the aesthetic I think really fits. Anyway, into what I was going to say a little earlier. I did talk about side quests, and I do think like the idea of being able to just pick side quests of maybe people will say, hey, maybe you're on a planet and you come across people and they're like, hey, we need help with this. There's these people doing bad things. Can you rescue my brother? Stuff like that. But also straight up missions. And this is actually more equivalent to I guess Mass Effect 2 side missions. Like in Mass Effect 2, if you had if you're scanning a planet and you picked up a disturbance, and you can go down to the planet and then deal with it. And I do like the idea of being able to do something like that. Of course, not without the awful scanning, but but to have different side missions that let you go down into different planets, even new planets altogether. And you know, since Fox is a well-known mercenary, and especially after you save the galaxy several times, you can earn some top dollar from people to help them out. I mean, granted, they're still good guys, so they wouldn't charge through the nose for people who are poor and in need of help. But this still doesn't mean they don't get paid. And maybe we can deal with that a little and actually show them, saying, you know, people paying them to help them. We need you to, or hell, well, like maybe I've seen this idea of people paying them for protection. Like saying, we need you to come help us defend off these bad guys. Like, there was an episode of I believe it was the Clone Wars that had it, where you meet this village and they had hired these, like, bounty hunter mercenary types to protect them. Maybe something like that for Star Wars. Just all these different missions. I'm always good for plenty of different types of side missions. But I also like the idea of coming across side plots. Now, in terms of main plot, like I said, this would actually serve more Mass Effect or even Splinter Cell Blacklist. You get the mission and you can go to it at any time, really. And you can pick your list of, I guess you could even go right from the menu, because I know there probably going to be some people who don't want to bother with going around the Great Fox. And instead of having to go to the main thing, you can just click from the menu and just go start main mission. Because I know there might be a lot of people who are fans of the series but don't want to deal with all the bells and whistles. Some of them just want a straightforward game. And actually, I would include a mode for those people. People who don't want to deal with the bells and whistles. People who just want classic Star Fox. And I would call it classic mode. And if you select this before your playthrough, this basically formats everything with just main missions. Includes, you know, on flight and on ground, since there will be main missions on ground. And it plays out more like Assault. You get cutscenes in between, just all the cutscenes in between, but no breaks to the Great Fox. And no side missions. And you play the whole thing, and then it scores you at the end. And, you know, that would be for all the people who don't want any extra stuff. But if you do want the extra stuff, I actually think there's so much chance to really mess around with this. To really, you know, add a lot more to the Star Fox games. Now, I do like the idea of having side plots as well. Like, I came up with this hilarious idea. It's kind of not hilarious, but I think it's funny. So basically, Andrew Oinkeny is in... You get this distress call about Andrew Oinkeny, and you're like, we need you to take care of Andrew Oinkeny. Okay, we'll take care of him again, because he's nothing but a nuisance. And they go and they find this lab, it's a cloning lab, and you find out he's trying to clone Andros, and you're like, no! And they go through and they fight through, and they find an actual clone of Andros comes out, and they're just like, Andros! And it's just like, and he's not really Andros, he's just a guy, he's just like a big monkey guy, and he's just like, I want to do science. He's actually not evil. That would actually be really funny. And he's just like, hello, do you have a lab where I can do science? Just, that would be an utter subversion of expectations. Maybe, you know, and now I haven't actually come up with any serious ideas. Darcy, stop. The cat. Stupid cat. But, I haven't come up with any, like, main plot, other than something bad is happening and General Pepper needs Star Fox to stop it. Now, I mean, there's plenty you can do, and unless Nintendo calls me and they're like, we need you to help us make Star Fox, I probably won't come up with anything too serious, at least not for a while, because this isn't high up on my list of, like, creative stuff, like, of actual projects I'm working on. You know, this is pretty low. Darcy, stop. Now, it would probably involve, you know, something to do with Andrew Oinkeny. But, I mean, we'd probably need to create a new bad guys. But, you know, I do like it. Star Fox Assault was good, but it was simplistic in a lot of ways. And I do think that there is a chance to enhance what was attempted in these last 2 games. Star Fox Zero is definitely meant to be a throw to classic games. It's a reimagining of, Star Fox 64, which in turn was a reimagining of the old Star Fox game with modern technology. So, I mean, I'm cool for seeing games in the Zero universe, but I kind of want. I mean, I'm invested in the 64 Adventures Assault universe. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for ideas that I had. I mean, I do really want to see more development towards the characters' relationships, because, you know, Assault did imply that with Fox and Krystal. You know, it does show that they went from being, you know, just meeting each other into having a possible romantic relationship, and it kind of hinted at it. Never actually did anything specific. It never said anything specific. It was still a little, you know, it never was like overt with anything. But I want to see Peppy being the team mentor to help people. You know, I want to see, you know, Fox and Slippy's friendship. You know, I want to see all this stuff. I want to see these characters more than just in cockpits or running around the ground. And I like the idea. And honestly, I loved how you could team up with them on the on-ground segment sometimes. Especially on Saria, like, you know, you're teaming up. I think Krystal's the one who's teamed up with you. I think Fox and Falco and Slippy are in the air. But anyway, I like that sort of stuff. These are good ideas. They just need to be taken further and expanded. You know, and I think there could be something really special if you mix these new elements in. I like the idea of being able to play as Fox in a more featureful third-person shooter when you're on the ground and when you're on the and you can do all sorts of stuff on in switching back and forth, because that was one of my favorite things on the on-ground segment, switching back and forth between like vehicles and not, but in vehicles and on foot. And I like the idea of that. It's a cool idea, and it really makes more sense. And you can say, hey, you know, we can get out of these R-Wings. So yeah, those are pretty much my ideas. I probably talked for a while. I can't really tell how long this was, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is just a video I wanted to make for the Anon who was interested. I mean, I have shared these ideas with a friend before, but I haven't actually talked about them much, mostly because I don't really get around to talking about Star Fox as much, which is kind of a shame, because Star Fox is kind of an underrated series overall. I think a lot of fans just kind of overlook it. I mean, and I hope Star Fox Zero does well. I will be getting that game because new Star Fox. We've been waiting for this for years, since 2004 or 2005 or something, whenever Assault came out. Yeah, 2005, early 2005. Yeah, waiting for this for 10 years. But yeah. So yeah, those are my ideas. I mean, I would be interested to see what people think of them. In terms of if people like the idea of me, like, adding a lot of third-person shooter elements, that just enhancing what was really already there in Assault. But I know some people may not like them, but those are my ideas, and those are really what I want to see in a new Star Fox game. So yeah, thanks for watching.